there you are. It is Afternoon Express here on S3. Hey, it's time for us to make a traditional Mozambican-inspired stew, also known as Feijoada. Our version is made with beans. You're going to see them there. Yep, the beef sausage is going to be doing its thing. The pork chops, they are there to also add to the magic. Now, I don't know if you've been learning, because as we go along, I like to teach you some of the things that I have picked up, throughout my many years of travel in the African continent. And when I went to Mozambique, I got to learn this. Hola. Not hola. But hola.
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo está?
How are you doing today, my friend?
¿Cómo está?
You have to do it with more energy, because the people in Mozambique don't greet like hola.
Oh, they actually really are energetic.
Feel them when they're in your space.
But just as energetic or as punchy as this recipe, really, right?
The one thing I love about is constantly celebrating African cuisine, African food, Africa as a continent, is that it allows us to be able to taste what the people in the rest of Africa are eating. We go on about spatlo sarona, we go on about our, milk tart and so many different things. But do you know how similar our cuisines can be? Just those little tweaks here and there that we make.
And you knew that you couldn't possibly do a Mozambican recipe without coming looking like a nice Mozambican lady with that headgear on time.
I had to, and this was actually gifted to me by the ladies we had on the show from Zambia. So I was like, okay, let's keep with this theme, keep it in Africa.
I love it. All right, let's go.
We're going to be making something called Feijoada, or better known as a black bean stew. And I know that black beans, most times people don't know where to get them. So today we'll be making it with kidney beans. But any other bean that you find could definitely work.
I love that.
And I've realized the reason why they add the beans into these, because they actually sort of work as a thickening effect. So normally you'd take your meat, roll it in some flour, and then fry it first, and then at the end it gets nice and thick. But the beans are definitely an important inclusion in this recipe.
It's going to be a filling one then.
It will, definitely filling and nutritious.
Nutritious, all the protein you're getting from it.
As you can see, I've started sauteing our onions in here. I've also added some garlic. It is very important to make sure that these cook down just so that they can release their fragrances and just be able to engulf the rest of the food that we'll be putting into our pot. To start off, I've got some bay leaves that are also important, and a lot of people also wonder, if you're cooking with bay leaves, at which point do you add them into the cooking, into your food? I normally say add them at the very beginning. Give them time to release their essence, to release their flavor, to release whatever they need to release.
Because they're slow releasing as well.
Exactly, slow releasing all the flavors in there. You want to get it slow, low and slow.
Great. So in goes then what after that?
Okay, so as you can see, we've got two specific meats that we're choosing here. I was going to say two proteins, but then I remembered we've also got the beans. So we've got two different meats here.
Correct.
And the one thing that makes a feijoada one of the best stews, I think, is because it can everything.
Because I'm looking and thinking, I've never seen a combination of wors with chicken going together. I mean,
this is pork, and this is one of the signature. So beef and pork are very signature for a feijoada. They are very so those are the. In essence, if I was to gauge it, a feijoada has to have at least some beans, some pork, or some beef.
Okay, cool.
But the great thing about it is whatever meat you've got in your house, and I think that's how they used to do it. Back in the days, if you are like, look, I only have chicken, I only have sausage.
Get it in there. And that also. And that. Okay, so our carrots going in.
Our carrots go in here as well. So as you can see, Rona, we're going to be cooking this stew down and giving it time to cook down. So it's time for me now to start adding our meats in here. So we are going with some wors, which is going to, and another thing I love about it is the wors actually has already been flavored. It's got all those spices in
there. So you don't have to worry so much about that.
Yeah, because it also will impart those flavors as it cooks. And then we've cut up a little bit of our pork chops in there. So in essence, normally how batla stew to cook down, you would brown the meat. But the one thing about this one is that it's going to get its color from the flavors you put in there, but also your beans as well, because as they cook down, they release their flavor, but they also release their color.
I love that.
Yeah, my friend. So this is it, Robana. It's quite a simple, quite an easy dish to make.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very convenient. The fact that you can use any meat that you've got in your fridge. Cooking time, how long would you say?
Look, ideally, now I'm one of those people. Most people would say 45 minutes, and I say 45 minutes is great. But I like to push my stews a little further because I want to make sure that meat is nice and tender. So let's let our baby cook down here. And we're going to let this cook for at least 45 minutes. Check it at the 45-minute mark and then cook it for however long you need to. But it should be ready.
Michaela's not going to wait 45 minutes for this. She wants to be in the kitchen already. Come in, Michaela.
You've
got a taster for
Michaela here. We've got a little taster for you as well.
There we go.
Let us know if the feijoada is something you would try and make and eat.
Well, I'll tell you this. this already smells amazing. So from me to me, obrigado, man.
You're welcome.
Now, to get this recipe, go on to afternoonexpress.co.za. You can see the smile on Michaela's face is telling.
Yeah.
Obrigado.
Obrigado. This is so good.
I'll sit here for it.